I'm excited to see what they can do on Night Market with some of the weird angles, but is playing that Luna, so it'll be really interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Luna with the Maxels as well, and immediately Josh just brought down. I mean, even though they're playing now, that's disgusting. That's disturbing. And hopefully this isn't the theme of the game, because Heavy Metal Gundam looks like they might be taking a lot of damage in this one, as both barriers are down, or barriers are down for both teams. And then we're going to see them try to hold on for dear life to the one remaining barrier, as Tragic on the Era trying to hold up against that Supernova. Was successful, and Kilius trying to rotate, trying to unlock his second form by hitting level 2. And Zay Forever dashing in with the EI Rush, putting that to a stop. And now Josh is back, and Tragic just making sure, playing aggressively forward so that that pressure never stops for Heavy Metal Gundam. As Zay Forever does lose a strike war against Luke, and he rotates it out with that Thunderstruck.
Yeah, now Tragic passes up to Josh. Good dash back by Striker Kai to make sure the core doesn't get to the device. Secondary will stall it there. Josh taken real low again and trying to fight for their life right now. It's not looking super good for them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Zay Forever brought down low. Josh also low. Kilius is low, but he is getting bullied around. Does get the speed gate win, though. Tries to pull it through. Tragic does unlock the second barrier, and now open net for Tragic. Has to not make any mistakes, but Luke also losing that second barrier now. So open net for both teams, as Kilius trying to make sure Josh doesn't live to see a core flip. And that storm perfectly placed from Tragic. Josh has a core flip up, and now Kilius is brought down low as Josh trying to control the core around Luke, who has a core flip, so not that scared just yet. And that Oni's Blade, unfortunately, doesn't get the kill onto Kilius now. And Josh just healing back up with the core flip, trying to make sure that Kilius isn't going to live. And there we go, Kilius taken off the field now. And Luke stalling out the point as long as possible, but power play on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, oh, that just almost slides right in. A good rocket from Striker Kai. Slips past Zay Forever, and a good dash from Striker Kai to seal it from Tragic, not using the flip there.
Yeah, that was a really good point. I wanted to ask Jet that Josh and Tragic both have Monumentalist, good creation characters, right? But on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, they don't really have strikers. Sorry, on the side of Dragonslayers 2, they don't have anything that can really deny. Oh my gosh. That was a really fast 8-second point on Night Market. I mean, Josh.
Yeah, what happened?
But
I was like focusing on your question, and then suddenly it was over.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. Great plays, but I wanted to ask: does Dragonslayers 2, do they have any way to deny like the creation awakenings that are going to be coming out in draft later?
You know, I'm a big believer that creation awakenings are Luna's best in slot. So I think, yeah, for sure, they'll definitely be doing that. No, there's nothing. Like, you just might have to bite the bullet in some cases, but, with the Monumentalist being gone, there isn't really anything that's too game-breaking necessarily that you want to worry about, whereas other things are just as good. On now, like the prime time.
I see, thank you. Yeah, so we're seeing, again, both teams down to one barrier. Josh brought down low with the Luna New coming in, unfortunately. Wasn't able to get the kill onto Josh, and Striker Kai putting on a lot of pressure on this lower side, but Zay Forever making sure that is held with the Oni's Blade coming out, and wins the strike war against Striker Kai as well. And now open barrier behind Dragonslayers 2, and Kilius taken off the field. Power play on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, and Luke does get the power cord out, gets it around Josh, stunned by Striker Kai. And Tragic just trying to push it through the speed gates, getting it around Zay Forever here, trying to make the power play happen. Kilius is back though, and now power play is ended, and now Zay Forever is getting chunked down. Only has one evade because he has the core flip and wants to save it for some defining plays here. And potentially like that one gets it through, trying to lay on the pressure. Josh is there, but Kilius does hold for now as they try to scale on open form primary from the Kazan use Supernova, making sure Tragic can't get the strike cooldown back in time. Zay Forever using the slice and dice, unfortunately does not reach the core in time, rotating with Josh behind him to back him up. The attack passing to his midfielder, I mean, that was great. But energy flip used by Striker Kai to Tragic gets it through there in time. Striker Kai low energy now, but Heavy Metal Gundam might have to do a little bit more surviving before taking advantage, and Luke, great primary, just speeds up the core. 2-1 lead now for Dragonslayers 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you were hoping for a relaxed game, I don't think this is the one. I mean, these points are going for so long, and it's amazing that Heavy Metal Gundam is able to survive with all the damage and still take barriers. So even losing a point there, they look very good.
Yeah, I mean, Heavy Metal Gundam even getting kills back, because this is their power play. Tragic just making sure, even using core flip, making sure that they can keep up that pressure. But oh, the core slides between both Josh and Tragic. And Dragonslayers too, even though they're dying, they're actually getting a lot of value from the plays. But this might be the sequence that they secure. And there we go, Heavy Metal Gundam. Josh just core flipping it in.
Yeah, that was a really well-timed flip. These KOs are just coming out of nowhere, it seems, for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam when they do come. And you can just see all of the damage coming out by Dragonslayers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, immediately chunked down. The Striker Kai also just very low. And you'll get to the orb, but things cannot be said for Josh as Kilius just piling on the pressure. Josh now having to work with a staggered now. This is really dangerous, and Kilius almost killing Josh, even hooking, even power recording, even Luna nuking, but Josh is alive with all the abilities up. Even that missile isn't going to finish off that now, and Day Forever having that space to play around, but Dragonslayers 2 have a nice triangle around the barrier of Heavy Metal Gundam, and they do get it down, and that Luna missile speeding up. Tragic is there in time. Unfortunately, Striker Kai gets the core that flips out in first set for Dragonslayers 2.
Yeah, that's a very difficult situation to be in with an era goalie. I mean, you just have to clear down there and hope that you can, get it past them, but it doesn't look nice. We are seeing a missile prop, which I imagine you don't want the Luna to get here, so that might be a deny if the Vice doesn't first pick it here. Going for prime time makes total sense. That's a lot of damage on the Vice. Even with the damage reduction, that's super valuable. The missile prop does fall, which is a little scary. Luna doesn't really have much else in the draft that's really game-breaking, so I think that might actually lead to a bit of a terrorization of Heavy Metal Gundam here.
Yeah, this looks like a really rough draft for Heavy Metal Gundam. I mean, Day Forever got size onto Zentaro, but I don't think that was like Zentaro loves size as more as it was a deny on Kilius as well. And Josh really needs to survive to get that stacks value. But yeah, how do you feel, Jet, about the drafts on both teams?
I think Dragonslayers kind of won that draft just on the monumentals or the missile prop alone, in my opinion. Though Orb's not really the a favorite in the draft, so you could argue that Kilius isn't super happy, but the rest of their team definitely is.
Sounds good. Yeah, Josh brought down low once again, still maintaining control of his stacks though, and trying to get around Striker Kai, who is also low. And Zay, great strike around Luke, and leading in the second set is Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, really good shot from Zay. I mean, that's sort of what I've always known Zay for, is these really well-placed strikes that are just impossible to deal with when you're playing something like a Vice that's small and not necessarily the most mobile in the goal box per se. So I think that's exactly what we should expect from Zay Forever.
Yeah, Zay just using the Oni's Blade and Zay to just wait out the Supernova from Luke. Kilius brought down low once again with combo of Now and Zentaro, I believe, and they're having a tough time holding on to the barriers, but they are holding his Dragonslayers too. In the back lines of Heavy Metal Gundam, both have flipped, so Tragic and Josh both have flipped, and Striker Kai flying dangerously close to the sun, wasn't punished for it though, and retreats safely back to grab their orb. And now Zay Forever and Josh trying to push through the front line of Dragonslayers 2, and Luke just clears it back down to Tragic. Striker Kai misses the dash, unfortunately, collides with the wall there, and a great Oni's Blade from Zay Forever, putting Kilius on the back foot once again. And Josh with the core flip has a lot of kill pressure, but opts to use it for core control instead, and that Luna nuke is going to be enough to force out the core flip. But the second barrier does go down. Kilius also goes down, and Dragonslayers 2 has to hold an open net with Striker Kai and Luke. They both have core flips though, and now Luke comes back, but teleports back, but not in time. The core goes in.
And then the diamond emote. You gotta love it. Unfortunate mistimed strike. That can often be a tricky thing with these eject button goalies, is you blink forward and you think about striking, and you just mistime things when you blink back, and it's just unfortunate when that happens. You don't like to see it. Zay Forever with the flip. Kilius taken low again, probably wanting to put that orb replicator to use, but there are no orbs to live with. But a good barrier take from Zay Forever. Luke still holding this flip, keeping abilities up, and it's looking like Kilius is about to go down there, but staying alive for now.
Yeah, great flip from Luke, does clear the goal, but Tragic with the core flip coming in. This might seal the deal here. Striker Kai, though, does react to it in time. Get the core out, and now energy low on both teams. Kilius brought down low once again, and that Oni's blade is going to seal the deal. Zay Forever's then Taro Passive coming in, and Slice and Dice stunning Luke. I mean, Heavy Metal Gundam really seemed on point that set.
Yeah, they really seem to be capitalizing and really, pumping out that damage. I think once Josh was able to get full stacks, the game sort of shifted a lot. It was very much like waiting for that opportunity. So maybe speed is the win con on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. We are seeing the extra special hover. Zentaro taking heavy impact, considered one of his best awakenings. And I think it's got to be cast to last on the era. Explosive entrance, that's fair too. That's also absolutely, totally fair. Stinger, the Kazan is looking like not long for this world if this keeps up. Opting for prize fighter there, possibly trying to deal out more damage and counter what Heavy Metal Gundam, this non-KO comp necessarily, has been doing. They've been pumping out a lot of damage, tons of counter damage. So we'll see if they're able to really get these kills on Kilius.
Yeah, Kilius just not really able to have a good time with this arrow beam, with this now damage, and that Stinger. Oh, even then, Heavy Metal Gundam coming out ahead and 1-0 lead on the third set.
Yeah, they're turning around. I really thought that things were just going to snowball and get worse for them. And every time I look at this draft, I'm like, surely it's not going to work out. But they're making it work, really showing how strong of players they are.
Yeah, Striker Kai, great reaction to the Slice and Dice, getting the strike back up in time to defend the barrier, but no matter, the barrier does go down. Tragic, great rotate to the bottom side, and now Zay, great find around Luke, but Kilius once again brought down low, trying to contest the speed gate, unable to, and has to Kazan open form out of there, and losing. Striker Kai taking the speed gate too, and Kilius just has to run around back, and Luke does find the exit though, and now energy advantage in favor of Dragonslayers 2, and Kilius just trying to make something happen for himself and really can't. And Striker Kai trying to kill Zay Forever with the core flip, unfortunately was not able to find it, and Tragic did not angle that storm to take advantage of that push. And Kilius is going to be back, so Heavy Metal Gundam does tend to power play here, but now this is Tragic with a core flip and not even needed. Great strike from now and Zay Forever.
Yeah, a weird little bounce there, I think, mixed Luke up. Those, that little bit of the bumper can just be so tricky to play around as a goalie. And you think you have it, you don't need to flip, and then suddenly it's just gone.
Yeah, Luke playing aggressively, but Tragic already set up the storm there, teleports into Doom and Gloom, and Supernova coming out, but Kilius just unable to push through, and Josh is out brawling the Kazan so far, but there we go, Luke doing a lot of damage onto Josh, but even so, he's alive. That small bit of power not able to be there. Luke just gets down just in time before the storm reaches him, evacuates at the nick of time, and Josh now making sure Kilius can't really see orbs or see the core or really anything, and Josh has the core flip now, but not needed. Zay Forever is going to secure that kill. Striker Kai misses the dash, unfortunately, making Luke be in a 1v1 situation against Zay Forever, who does use the core flip now and gets it out, but unfortunately loses the second barrier, and now open net with a core flip now, and that's gonna be second set. Heavy Metal Gundam really finds their footing.
I mean, what do you do there? This 3v2 with Vice Luna is just so difficult. They're not defensive characters. It's really difficult to play with. So it's sort of a question, I think, whether Dragonslayers want to keep, looking for Deadeye. It looks like they do want to, and looking for this damage output to try to scale as much as possible. The bulk up pick is going to give some survivability to Zay there, which is really, really good. Possibly unkillable at this point with Vambrace. And I find the team player deny kind of the pick interesting. To be totally honest, on the goalie, team player is obviously a great awakening on goalies, but Vice is not a mobile character, and so Glass Cannon, which gives you power and speed, is really quite beneficial to these damage goalies, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we see Kilius actually pick up Ad Rush, which has been the talk of the town, but it looks like, I guess Heavy Metal Gundam's thinking that Kilius isn't going to be that much of a threat, that they can just end it here and now. And here and now, they're trying to do it because Zay Forever, Tragic, and Josh all stack up on the top corner, pushing with the storm. And Luke has a Supernova set up on the other side, but he needs to get the core out there to use it. The Luna New coming out, Luke is wise to it. and clears it just in time, stops the core with the supernova, and the missile coming out, but Tragic, great reaction, gets the core out after the missile hits, and Kilius looking low once again, just trying to get some levels up and some stats going so that he can really use that prize fighter, but unable to do so just yet. Has to heal up a little more. Dashes for the orb and gets it. I mean, great play from Kilius, using that speed to his advantage, but still, once again, Josh just healed himself back up, and Kilius is half health. And once again, a push to the top side from Heavy Metal Gundam, trying to get through. Luke does use his core flip, trying to get past Josh, who does react to it. And Kilius is doing really, really good here, using the speed burst to his advantage, and getting some things done without dying. And Zay Forever dashing in after the Oni's blade. Kilius hooks, but does miss the second barrier coming in. The now Dorito is set up in a dangerous spot from Josh. Does wait it out though, but now this is a core flip now, who only has one evade, and now he has low stagger, and Kilius really wants to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, a little too slow on the setup. He was being interrupted. But Heavy Metal Gundam does lose the second barrier in return for the Luna. Kilius is also looking really low, so this is a power play on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, but they do really want to get this barrier, equalize the count. Luke, great clears coming out, and even is going to get that, slightly slow on the reaction after the Oni's blade. Does stop it with the supernova coming out, but Zay Forever uses the flip.
What a save.
Hell, what a save. And Josh getting it through, but Luke's so close. Very nice clear, and now Kilius is back, and he does have cooldowns, even if he's low stagger. We're going to see a lot of fast cores in overtime as Kilius tries to get around Tragic and Zay.
Yeah, Zay doing his best to keep the core up. Tragic does have that flip if need be, which does provide some security. A missed dash from Striker Kai is really going to not secure that point. The flip used by Tragic, and it's blocked away by the secondary. And a strike, I believe.
Yeah, Kilius just threads the needle, and this is the break that Dragonslayers 2 need if they want to come back and win this.
Yeah, NASA player showing me what an idiot I am. There's the team player proc just absolutely securing that goal for Dragonslayers.
Josh does have 150 stacks though. Josh has 648 power. This is wow. This is such a fast now, but they're doing a great job. Dragonslayers 2 is doing a great job of getting it around this super fast now, and even gets it around Tragic here. The era boost not fast enough just yet. That speed keep's gonna do it, but Luke just pressuring up top. Has to run away though. The eject button timer is running out. And the core just slips through. The supernova there, unfortunately not in time. The Thunderstruck not in time, but Kilius just uses the core flip, gets around Tragic, mixes him up, and gets the second point now for Dragonslayers 2. Really finding his footing now.
Let's pretend that was the greatest dribble ever. And say no more about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about this game. It defies all logic, in my opinion. They're just both teams are playing really well. Controlling the core and dealing damage. It's a just expert game.
Absolutely, and Striker Kai brought down low in the backlines, but he is a Luna. He can dash forward if he need be, and setting it up with the Thunderstruck with Luke. Unfortunately, a little bit of a mistiming there. Needs the missile won't make its mark, and stuns Tragic with the dash. Striker Kai has to evade, has to run away from Zay Forever, who is making sure Striker Kai can't run to the orb as easily as he would like. But does back up Striker Kai all the way. Luke and Kilius did hold the front lines with the supernova even, and Striker Kai reacts and gets it out. And Josh is looking really, really low with 64 stacks. He wants to get them back up to 150. Zay Forever also looking a little low, has to spend his core flip, does not get a barrier out of it either. And Dragonslayers 2 very oppressive with the core flip. Luke even reacts to that core flip pass there, and Josh looking dangerously low. Kilius diving in, and Striker Kai boosting past the core past Tragic. And now we're going to a set 5.
Yeah, a really good amount of patience from Striker Kai there. Not to just, dash and strike. Now, obviously, NASA players, we're not going to expect them to just dash and strike all the time. But, yeah, really good play from Striker Kai. We are seeing 2 sparks for the era available. If they want to go for that, Spark of Focus makes sense. The specialized training, the super surge, and the peak performance, obviously, for survivability, and also to deny the Zentaro. All really good picks. The specialized training falling to Vice is a little scary. If she can land those ultimates, if the Vice can land those ultimates, then it's kind of game over for whoever on Heavy Metal Gundam. So I think everybody's pretty happy with that draft for the most part, especially with the era getting the 3rd spark.
Absolutely, and a great missile from Striker Kai onto Tragic, who does hold onto the second barrier. Oh, immediately loses it to Kai's great boost. Kilius, great pickup on the recovery drone because he needed to use that one right there. And yeah, Luke holding onto the one barrier, which is really important in Night Market. Stay forever, though, immediately knocking that out of his hands. And Luna coming down, Stay Forever forced to use his energy as Kilius brought down low once again. Even though he is level 8 now, he's still low. He's still a Kazan, and you can't be too careful. Luke with the Strike 4 against Stay Forever, almost killing Josh was Kilius there. But a little bit too low in the power department. Striker Kai has a core flip, wants to get in a position to use it, uses the insta-core flip. Unfortunately, the angle wasn't quite there. Luna coming down, making sure Josh is going to be killed, isolated, but Zay Forever picks up the trade and power play denied. I mean, Heavy Metal Gundam staying in this great storm from Tragic as well, but oh, the speed messed him up just a little bit. Striker Kai finds the goal.
Yeah, really good strike from Striker Kai. It's a difficult situation. Tragic just had to move into the center and expect that straight shot, but that's really hard to do. And was just a little bit late to it. Zay Forever taking a quick barrier, almost KO'd by the dash bug, which would have been unfortunate, but staying alive. And Josh with no stagger and no evades is looking very scary against this team.
Yeah, Luke just using the Supernova. Josh kicks it into it, knowing that there's no path. And oh, great heal coming out from Josh as well, but Kilius is making sure that now it's going to stay low. Does core control with Striker Kai on the midfield, trying to take advantage. Does Thunderstruck comes in for Luke, trying to get some ticks onto Zay Forever with a vertical power core. Striker Kai using the core flip onto Josh and dashes in, making sure the barrier is secure so both teams have an open net to defend. And Kilius just on the hunt for Josh, but Josh does quite a bit of damage himself. And nice boost though from Striker Kai, speeding up the core 2-0. And all of a sudden it's match point for Dragonslayers 2.
Yeah, it was looking very scary with how easily Heavy Metal Gundam was staying alive and managing to counter this kill comp, but they're managing to pull out a win. They just are 1 point away. That's all they need, and hopefully they can secure it here, or for them, hopefully.
Yeah, Josh healing out and getting himself nice and healthy again. Winning the speed gate war as well as the Luke does corner clear through Kilius, and oh, the core just speeds up so quickly now, even though it's not overtime. And Josh looking dangerously low again. Kilius on the prowl. Luke does lose the barrier off of that weird Night Market angle though, just mixing up all the goalies in the world today. And Luke does secure his core flip now. An unfortunate boost from Striker Kai means that he will die. And we'll be back 8 seconds later. Zay Forever getting hit by the Supernova, just immediately drained half of his health. And Josh, a great down line, securing their first point here for Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, they're not out of it yet, but they need to keep, taking advantage of things. It's just an unfortunate situation to have your Luna dash into a Monumentalist era NATO like that, and that just kind of lost the point for them. I mean, Striker Kai is doing such a good job of controlling everything and putting so much pressure on them that losing him is kind of a very difficult situation to be in.
Absolutely, Kilius controlling the midfield with the Kazan, hooking as well. Striker Kai almost taken off the field there. Wow, that was a lot of pushback from Zay Forever. Does live though to use the Luna ult. Josh has to run out of there and get some control of the midfield. Supernova forcing out abilities from both sides, from side of Heavy Metal Gundam, but a nice storm push from Tragic is going to ensure the core stays out of danger zone. And Josh and Zay both low, but aggressive plays coming out. Josh really trying to run away from Kilius after making that point now, as Zay is trying to keep the core up, but Striker Kai is really winning the battle in this bottom lane here. And Luke even trying to rotate the core up top just a little bit before going back, getting that value out of the ejectment. But Josh has a flip and uses it through, and now we're at a set 5.5.
Super savable. I mean, yeah, that's sort of been the name of the game, is like, if Heavy Metal Gundam survives and they can capitalize on this sort of weakened defense on these characters, that's their whole game plan, right? And it seems to be working when it works. And if they just can stay alive, then it works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see Zay just, what a great sequence with the Oni Blade after using in the Zentaro passive, just making sure everything's like nice and bundled up. And Luke, once again, the EI rush from Zentaro from Zay Forever, making a lot of value. Kilius does have flip though to stop any kind of pressure, but he is on the mid of the map, and Josh is going to win the speed. But even though Kazan Hook comes out to crooked leverage, generating a lot of value from the Kazan, taking the first barrier for DRG2. And Striker Kai really wants to make sure the core goes through. Kilius brought low again. I mean, Zay Forever on the prowl with the Supernova trying to make some distance. But oh, what a great placement from Zay is going to secure the first game of the series. Heavy Metal Gundam lead 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me at the start of draft who was going to win that in this meta, I don't think... I think I underestimated the power of Monumentalist now and Era. So I think that was a little bit surprising to me, but it makes sense. I mean, when you think about, now is obviously a survivability character, really good for that, especially with the Monumentalist. But Era, in a lot of ways, is as well, right? Like we saw in the previous series, Expo Chan doing this a lot on the Era, minimizing the brawler before your teammate gets killed, so the damage doesn't hit as hard, and it's harder to actually confirm those kills. So I think in hindsight, we're seeing like that this is a survivability comp, especially with the Zentaro Vambrace. And that, I think, made a huge difference in things like stacks on stacks, making it easier for Josh to survive. Made it super hard for them to get those kills that they wanted. Only 2 kills on the side of Dragonslayers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kilius came online, but unfortunately it was too little too late. And yeah, Josh holding on to his stacks was absolutely huge. So we're going to go to next map and see what kind of adjustments Dragonslayers 2 have made. And I think next map is going to be their pick as well. So Heavy Metal Gundam, this was their map. Dragonslayers 2, they're going to answer back on Atlas's lab.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of interested, because I had said, early on that I was interested in seeing the core control coming up from Striker Kai. And that's definitely true, right? Like there's still a lot of this core control on the Luna that was taking place, but so we might see, on AtLab, which is that map that is very versatile, we might see a lot more of the core control gameplay that we kind of know Striker Kai to do, which I'm really excited for. We might see Kai this game. We might see who knows, right? Like there's lots of good core control options, so I'm kind of excited to see if they're going to come into this with a totally different game plan instead of brute force murder.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Striker Kai had the highest redirects in the lobby, so he did see a lot of that core. I do want to point out though that despite it being a survivability comp, Red Team did more damage than the Vice Luna Kazan. I mean, that's they're surviving by throwing hands back. That's a crazy comp. And
I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Like if the other team is dead, they can't kill you, and that just happened to be the case. I think they were just taking advantage of the Monumentalist in a lot of ways through the Aeronado and the just now hitting harder, being able to put out a lot of damage, but also Vambrace, right? When you're trying to survive, you have to hit things, right? So that I think helps. And Zentaro is no stranger to damage, right? So it's not surprising that we're seeing almost 50k from Zay. It's just looking at this comp, if I said that there was 11 KOs on one of these teams, and you look at this comp, you don't expect it to be Red Team here, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all right, so Atlas Lab, right? We have a Hotshot Fighter Flight Start, and HMG banned Juno, and DRG2, Dragonslayers 2 banned Juliet.
Yeah,
So,
this is going to be, I think, a totally different game with these Awakenings, right? The Hotshot, the Fighter Flight, generally core speed and general speed. So it'll be interesting to see what gets taken and by who. We're seeing the Rasmus and the Estelle coming out for Dragonslayers, which, the Rasmus is a really flexible pick. I'm not sure if Luke plays the Rasmus goalie. I don't think I've ever seen it, but very good goalie to be picking up on AtLab in general. And Hotshot is a great goalie awakening for goalie Rasmus. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, if Luke does play it. Yeah, but it could also be a brawler pick, right? Estelle Rasmus is always scary.
Yeah, I mean, this does mean that Vice Zen is unlocked and immediately, picking it up. Actually, not immediately, because I think they delivered it before picking up Zen. But I do think Zay Forever Zen and the Vice is going to be really scary damage for Heavy Metal Gundam. and we round off. I believe that's Tragic's rune, right? Or no,
Mm.
that's not. It's on the side of Dragonslayers. So we have a rune pick. Is that Luke's rune? Is that a or
Yeah,
is that
I'm
a
not
Luke rune?
sure. I don't think I've ever seen Luke. I mean, it's entirely possible. I don't remember ever seeing Luke play it. But there's always opportunities to have a
Um,
pocket pick.
yeah, I'm too low elo to know to need Luke on the regular. He's rank 1, so um, I mean, it's
Hey, me too.
just looking at the comps now, right? Though, we see Aimee Vice Zen. That's definitely we get kills, we secure kills comp versus Rasmus Estelle Rune. I mean, what can Rasmus Estelle Rune do to like survive against this onslaught?
Honestly, um, I think it's just score quickly is one of the big game plans for survivability. And you know, if you pop the black hole in the middle, your survivability game gets a lot easier because you just play to the center instead of playing to the edges. And you don't have to be afraid of these edge KOs like you do on something like Night Market, where it's sort of pushed down into these pockets, right? So, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of damage coming out from Heavy Metal Gundam for sure. With
Oh,
the Aimee, with the Vice, with the Zentaro.
wait, Luke is on Flix? Achilles is on
Okay, so this is what I was thinking of when I almost said it. I've known Kilius as the Rune goalie player, so I'm not surprised to see that pick up there done like this.
All right. I mean, huge, a nice shakeup coming out from Dragonslayers too. Yeah, but looking at the Awakenings, how do you feel? We have 4 hot shots, 2 fighter flights.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me on these characters. I think, yeah, I think that's just the way to do it. I think maybe you could take fight or flight on the midfield Vice, but I'm not sure exactly if that's the right call or not. I'm not a midfielder or a Vice player, so I really don't know. But taken very low Josh again, which has been the name of this series for Josh, and just trying to fight for his life. And the really good black hole kill from Luke is going to secure that. Good awareness to see that was popping up.
Yeah, that's like a 0.5 power play because both the forwards are so low on the side of HMG, on the side of Dragonslayers too, but they still make it work and they take the barrier of Tragic as they try to pendulum swing it through, and piercing shot's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation. It's hard to react when you're into a hotshot Estelle like that. Knowing exactly the timing, knowing exactly how fast the core is going to be going when you haven't really warmed up to it yet can be really tricky.
Yeah, Black Hole immediately getting popped. Josh didn't want that there. And Striker Kai being brought dangerously low. I mean, Aimee by Sen just doing what they do best, just doing damage and setting up the turret for pressure. And a great cyber swipe from Tragic, unfortunately, doesn't lead to the barrier being taken. And a nice room pillar from Kilius. Great placement there. And Striker Kai brought low once again. Luke and Striker Kai both brought low, just kind of taking turns having to die here as Heavy Metal Gundam starts piling on the pressure once again. They want to end this 2-0. And they're going to get 1-1 on set 1. They're tying it up.
Yeah, where'd all my friends go? What do you do as a rune there? Your forwards are either dead or staggered. You have the flip, but honestly, saving it might not be the worst idea because it's kind of doomed at that point.
Yeah, energy economy in favor of Dragonslayers 2 now, though. And Luke looking to score a quick point. Tragic holds once again, but Striker Kai diving in and gets a strike.
That's an unfortunate clear from Tragic. I mean, you're trusting your midfielder to maybe be there and strike the core, but and get it to safety. But I think a center clear is really what you need there. Hard to see in the moment though, with such mobility from the Estelle and the Rasmus.
Yeah, Striker Kai rose warp to the center, just cutting off all those moments. And yeah, it's a really tough call to make if you're Tragic. But Josh does have core flip almost taken off the field by Luke there, though. Great pendulum swing awareness. But he does survive, though. Sets up the supernova. And, Tragic just finding the angle that won't get his barrier taken. And very impressive. The black hole does come out again, though, and Luke looking for a double barrier, but doesn't find it. Josh playing around, getting the core out, and meanwhile, Luke is kind of brought low. Unfortunately, the skills, by the time they came back, Luke was back on stagger, and now he's going to take the second barrier. Dragonslayers 2 looking strong this set. Josh and Zaper kind of stacking together a little close. I think they want to kill Luke here with the Oni Blade. And they do get it, and the Rose Warp tanked by Josh. And there we go, Luke almost dying, but he's going to find the orb, and Kilius saves it. Unfortunately, Striker Kai's piercing shot grief the barrier, but Josh has a nice setup with a supernova. Oh, proportionate angle, but lives. Tragic holds with the glitch pop, and the death touch is circumvented. And now it's Josh with a core flip and Zay with a Zentaro passive. 2-2, tying it up. I mean, both teams making this really close.
Yeah, I mean, there's that back shot from the back primary from Striker Kai there is a little unfortunate. Not really what you want to be seeing. But you know, Heavy Metal Gundam still had to capitalize, and they just did that very well.
Absolutely, and now barrier down for Heavy Metal Gundam, and this is the point. This is the point. You don't have any more chances. This is the set, and it's going to be a really nice first set draft for whoever wins this. And we're seeing Luke just buying some time, making sure Striker Kai can get into position and Kilius get into position. And they're using the black hole to kind of play it around, but Josh was wise to it and uses a great power chord. And now Zay Forever rotating the core down. Doesn't get the barrier though, and Luke forcing Tragic to use his own flip. And the cyber swipe there, but Kilius just walking all the way up and core flipping the barrier open. And Dragonslayers 2 are in a great position to take this ever important first set. Zay using the core flip, but unfortunately unable to find value as all three members of Dragonslayers 2 are on full defense. But that one glitch pop is going to make things happen, and the supernova, really scary. Striker Kai couldn't run away from it in time, and now has to face the full wrath of the Vice then, Aimi. And the core, oh, Kilius is there in time though. Crystal Thorns being used, Rosewarp being used, but Kilius is going to has to step up and play midfielder because Striker Kai had to give his life for that. And Josh, great primary, but Kilius was aware, gets it around. Luke buying enough time for Kilius to come back. Double goalie, power play ended. A great usage of the black hole to keep Josh out of the play for a little bit more. He's coming back though just in time to clear Striker Kai's offense, and the Crystal Thorns coming out. Tragic getting it back into the corner though, and the supernova very threatening on the middle of the map. Unfortunately, all members of Dragonslayers 2 navigated around it, and Striker Kai looking really low, but all it needs is just 1 point on both sides. And that's gonna find it, and Luke's gonna find it. Dragonslayers 2 take the first set.
Really good shot from Luke there. I mean, what are we watching? I can't tell what's happening with the core speed, which is, you know, amazing that these players are able to, you know, keep up with it. I'm always thoroughly impressed. We are seeing a Deadeye or Prime Time for the Estelle, whatever really she wants here. And she goes for Stinger, denying. I think that's probably a decent call. Kind of one of Zentaro's favorite awakenings when you're looking for damage. But it does mean she has to give up the Prime Time. Rasmus taking the Deadeye. I'm not the biggest fan of this pick, but I know a lot of people swear by it on Rasmus, so it's fine. It's not like it's a bad pick or anything. The Vice getting Prime Time. That's the second time Vice has gotten Prime Time in these two games, and that's really interesting. Survivability on Kilius, survivability on Zay Forever, all of these things kind of big factors. So a good draft all around for both teams, I think.
All right, yeah. Zay Forever getting hooked by the Rasmus. You can really see that Deadeye value, just dragging him half map, but and they take the first. They still take the first barrier. Does Dragonslayers 2 as Zay and Josh kind of slow down the core with the Thunderstruck and try to rotate to the bottom. The Kilius' pillar is there, but the second attempt makes it through, and Tragic unfortunately hooked back, but Josh is there, and Luke unable to get there quite in time. The Whiplash comes out, but still Tragic is going to find some great pillar from Kilius though, so they lose both barriers. Does Heavy Metal Gundam as Dragonslayers 2 look to pile on the pressure as Kilius is continuing to pressure with his pillars. Josh having to use the Supernova and finds a nice sweet spot. Thankfully, Tragic was able to get the court around in time, so the Supernova didn't grief. And now Zay Forever just trying to buy some time for Josh to come up, and they do, but Kilius just rotates it down now as Striker Kai forced to use their flip, and the core goes into overtime.
Yeah, it seems like most teams are looking to play for overtime. Like both teams, like the core speed is just the name of the game here, and it seems to be how these games are going for even the last one as well.
Oh, good great awareness from Josh, yeah, and Zay following up too.
Yeah, really good reaction from Josh to see that that's if you don't grab that with the flip, that's probably going in. So really good awareness, and you know, wasted 2 flips to get that goal, but I mean, you know, you're not unhappy getting goals in this game.
Yeah, you got the goal at least. It's worth. Great double banish from Kilius, really showing why he picked the rune swapping out positions with Luke, and unfortunately does lose the second barrier there though. So Heavy Metal Gundam have a great chance to go up in this set. But Kilius does have a flip though, and using pillars just to stymie the offense of Josh and Zay forever here. It's Tragic just eject buttoning up, but has to return back to answer the piercing shot, and an unopportune Atlas Black Hole making Josh go dangerously low. Has to use the Supernova to survive here. Oh, but a great angle regardless. Striker Kai has to answer back. The EI rush coming out. Tragic preemptively using the turret, but Josh not back in time to save the goal. Oh! And the flip from Tragic. Oh, trying to get it through Luke, but Luke just finds it. Luke reacted to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was Luke's point right there, with between the hook to take the barrier and then the good read to see that Tragic would go for that center clear. Just making sure that goal goes in through and through. So really good job on Luke there, who's taken immediately low and walking back for that orb now. Miss Banish from Kilius is going to kind of lose some value there, and Luke just needs to survive, fighting for his life, and he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully no prize fighter stacks to worry about yet, but Kilius, great reaction with the slicing dice, and the glitch pop actually griefs Tragic here, unfortunately, and Kilius, it's all him. 2-1 lead for Dragonslayers 2.
Yeah, good on Kilius, making use of that secondary and the flip together. Really nullifying that kill, which is exactly what you want to see if you're a Dragonslayers fan.
Absolutely, and Striker Kai making sure the top lane is held as Luke just fights in the middle. Luke having to burn his core flip though immediately, and now Kilius just kind of pillars himself in. And this is low energy Luke against accomplish a lot of damage, and Zay even pressuring the second barrier with Zentaro passive there. Ami turret comes down from Tragic, and Luke's gonna just fall once again. Oni's blade coming out to secure just in case Josh doesn't do it. And the pillar comes out half formed, I think saved by a member of HMG here as they look to take the top barrier. Kilius and Striker Kai are holding, the power play is held. Striker Kai brought down low. A piercing shot coming out to do some damage to Zay. Zay rotating up top to make sure the core is secured. Rotated back to Striker Kai, who rotates it down, and now Heavy Metal Gundam set up a slow offense of their own. I think they're just waiting for an Ami turret, waiting for a Supernova or anything to pressure, but Luke does use it, and Tragic is forced to use his turret defensively. And a great Thunderstruck coming out, but unfortunately it griefs Tragic core flip push. And Striker Kai brought down low. Zay forever. Oni's blade kills Striker Kai, takes him off the field for another 10 seconds. And Josh having to core flip around. And Zay forever slicing and dicing and even evades. But this is looking like a really scary moment here as they have to hold another power play from Heavy Metal Gundam.
Dragonslayers are doing a great job of holding these power plays though. That's sort of one of the things about Kilius Rune that I know, which is that it's just so hard to score on. The character, even without Awakenings, can be just such a pain on this map because the pillars are basically the size of the barrier, right? So it makes it hard to sort of be able to score. Kilius is walking right up into the middle, taking away those clearing lanes, and Luke is down again, almost off the map, and survives there. I thought for sure that Luke was gone. They take the barrier with Striker Kai, confirming that. But if Luke can survive here, it's going to be very scary for Heavy Metal Gundam to, be able to take this point.
Yeah, scary banish from Kilius coming out, but unfortunately didn't lead to a goal. And Zay forever does win a nice strike toward placement. And Luke is alive and he's back. He has energy once again, so he can try another assault onto the positions of Heavy Metal Gundam. And great double barrier, great double pillar from Kilius, ensuring that the core stays in offensive position for Dragonslayers 2. Just passing around Josh's Supernova, trying to get around the Ami turret. Great Rose Warp and gets it through Josh. I mean, Dragonslayers 2, they're looking to equalize the series.
Yeah, it really does feel like it's their game. I've said multiple times, if they can just survive, that seems to be their win con, and they're doing it really, really well. They're really keeping it together. However, not much survivability in this draft available. And I don't know what you take as... deny the adrenaline rush. That makes total sense. I was going to say I don't know what you take as the Estelle here, but that's definitely the pick. 1-2 punch, Spark of Strength, a lot of damage on Heavy Metal Gundam. Size on Rasmus, you can't be unhappy, but this is a pretty straightforward draft. This isn't a hard one to do, I think, but denying the adrenaline rush is really, I think, the standout thing that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing Dragonslayers 2 lead 2-1, and a great pass from Striker Kai to Kilius to ensure that that first barrier is going to go down, and an Imi turret used defensively once again. But no, takes the first barrier for Heavy Metal Gundam as well, and Oni's Blade holding the core in place for Tragic to get back and use that glitch pop, and now full defense on Dragonslayers 2 as they're looking to set up a slow push on the top side. Luke just walking over or having to walk around the black hole to get into position, but now Striker Kai is brought down low, having to give up on the offense, and Josh almost takes Striker Kai off the field. Day Forever's here to kill, though. Rose Warp, though, is going to help Striker Kai stay alive, and now it's a power play for Dragonslayers 2. Tragic, nice read onto the pass between Luke and Striker Kai, and Kilius does use that pillar, but the Imi turret is going to be enough to push the core out. And now we have Atlas Lab, the core's being held onto the black hole. Luke brought down low, and the Supernova, he has no energy. Oh, but he lives. Luke lives and has a death touch. Zay's going to... Oh, he even survives Zay's and Tragic's attack. And he can generate more value, even dodging the power core from Josh. And Luke is looking to heal up here. And scary moment. But Kilius was covering the angle. I guess that would have led to the immediate goal. So the core just bounces off the top side, coming back. Striker Kai, great flip after the Rose Warp, making sure the play stays away. And Kilius, great pillar right on top of Zay Forever, so that his dreams of scoring the goal there was ruined. Oni's Blade does come out with the passive. Striker Kai looking really low. Supernova coming out. The black hole comes out, though, right in time for Luke to fall into it and get taken off the field. Striker Kai almost close, trying to get some cooldowns up. Josh is looking really low, so it's not a power play, but Kilius, unfortunately, the core slips through him.
Just not enough speed to grab that. Like I've said many times, survivability matters, and I think dribbling on a black hole that's about to spawn might not be the play. Luke dying there really changed the game for the worse for Dragonslayers.
Yeah, I mean, Dragonslayers still in a good lead. Gets a great double barrier from Luke, and nice passing with Kilius. I mean, both of them have goalie experience, so the back line is solid. Striker Kai getting it through with a piercing shot, and Ignite Spanish ensures that Josh is brought down low and has to retreat into power cord.
The chain lightning, unfortunate.
Unfortunate situation for Heavy Metal Gundam, but Dragonslayers 2 are back in this set.
Yeah, that's the curse of Vice, especially with prime time. You have a lot of chain lightnings to screw yourself over with.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a great pillar placement from Kilius, making sure the top barrier is down, and now the second barrier is down, and they're looking to lead the set 2-1 here. But Zay Forever does get a great center clear through, and Josh does have core flip, though. He can use this to get some tempo back for themselves, and a great wait out of the piercing shot. And Zay Forever passes to Josh so he can set up himself. Oh, unfortunate glitch pop timing. Does get it to Luke, but wasn't able to make stuff happen. And now, great find from Luke. Threads the needle.
I mean, Luke is just playing like dead 90% of the time, and kind of carrying 80% of the time. Like, just absolutely amazing plays from Luke here when he's on the map. When he's not on the map, it's a little scary for Dragonslayers, but getting one good barrier and putting a lot of damage onto the Vice, who's just gone now from a rune pillar, with flip as well, which is a really unfortunate situation for Heavy Metal Gundam, and hopefully Dragonslayers are really hoping to see if they can secure that here. The Vice comes back up. Zay is low, though, so another opportunity to kill on the side of Dragonslayers. A flip used by Zay Forever. Not going to get any value, not just yet, but a lot of pressure is still being applied.
Yeah, that looked really scary for both teams, and like in the span of like 2 seconds, the momentum just shifts so quickly. But Luke is coming back from the back lines, and Zay Forever is the one looking low as of this moment. And Luke, a great pendulum swing find onto Zay Forever, even has the whiplash. But Zay is going to just EI rush out of there. And a great hook coming out from Luke to make sure that they take the barrier. And now both teams have an open net to defend. And Zay Forever is still low. And Josh gets the core just swung around him by Luke.
Yeah, now did Deadeye proc there? It must have, with the built different. Maybe it's just built different core speed, but no strike reset on Josh makes that very hard to save. So really well played by Dragonslayers. The first game was really close, and this just felt so dominant from them, despite all of the damage potential coming out from Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is nature healing? Is core control making a comeback? I don't
in this
I mean,
meta.
I
Who
don't know.
knows? Who knows? I don't know.
But
I'm not good enough to say for sure. So
it's I mean, great plays coming out, even using the roster, not a roster swap, right, but the position swap between Luke and Kilius, and they really made it work. They really showed why they chose Atlas Labs. So both teams gotta get some feedback, and they're gonna come back with on the decider, which I believe is on Gates of Obscura. So that's gonna be a really
yeah,
cool map.
I love this map. This is probably one of my favorite maps in the pool, and people are probably going to hate me for that. It's a controversial map. Like some people really like it, some people really hate it. I've always loved Gates, even the original one. It's such a fun and interesting map with like a lot of dynamics that really favor being able to pass and work with your teammates. So I think I'm hoping, I said this last game, but I'm hoping that maybe we'll see a small shift from damage. But in this meta, anything is possible. We could just also see 4 siphoning wands and some high damage eject button goalies or pauldrons goalies. So who really knows?
Yeah, I mean that was huge, and I think going to the third set, right? It's I think Dragonslayers 2 really showed their mental, like how strong it was, because it's hard to swap off of your main position if you're Luke, right? And be like, yeah, I'll be brawler. This is this might be the one that sets them, because this is losers. If you lose this, your playoff run is over. So that was a really strong showing for them to come back and swing and say, yeah, we're comfortable with doing this with our tournament life on the line.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, great plays coming out. I don't want to understate Heavy Metal Gundam's performance though. They showed a lot of strength here.
Yeah.
They weren't able to secure kills, but that was impressive damage coming out from Zay and Josh and Tragic. And they did get 6 kills, which is respectable. And unfortunately, they did fall short here. They're going to be going to their decider match.
Yeah, I mean the 6 kills, it felt like so much more. Just with how Luke was staggered the whole time, it really felt like they had way more than 6 kills, but you know, uh not confirming them, I guess, is sort of the issue. I mean, it's being fully staggered is pretty close to having a kill anyways. It just doesn't tick up a number, but um it really felt like it was a lot more and that they were just surviving, but I guess Luke playing the game while staggered was really a deciding factor in that.
Yeah,
And we
for
are
sure.
seeing draft happening now on Gates. So we are
Right.
seeing Dragon 2 with the Juliet ban on a 1-2 punch and Orb start. I'm interested to see if anyone is going to go with the Orb replicator here. I'm sure someone will, definitely like the goalies probably, depending on what you pick, but I'm wondering if there's going to be anyone else or if we're just going to see another bloodbath of sorts.
Yeah, for sure. Heavy Metal Gundam once again banning Juno, really putting respect on Striker Kai's Juno here. And Dragon Slayers 2 banning Zay Forever is of course the Juliet. Really gonna be threatening on maps like Gates. But I mean, what kind of comps do you think we can see with 1-2 punch and Orb Replicator?
I don't know. From what I've seen, like, is it going to be just damage again? Like, that seems to be how it's going. I've said, like, 2 times I've said, I'm excited to see core control from really either team, and it's just been damage through the roof. So, who really knows at this point what's going to happen? We are seeing the Estelle picked up by Dragonslayers, and the Kazan first picked by HMG. Which is interesting. Kazan on this map is good. I mean, Kazan's a great character, but with the 1-2 punch, that can be very, very hard to deal with on a map like Gates of Obscura.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's going to be Josh's now as well. So we have the Kazan now drafting a little bit of survivability in there. Of course, that relies on Josh just dodging everything, being a now. But I mean, 1-2 on Estelle, right? Does that mean Estelle can kind of function as like a dash punching brawler with the Quangles?
Yeah, I mean, if you know how to do the combo, it's not as easy as the dash punch combo to land those quangles, but definitely it can be a little scary. Now, on a map like Gates of Obscura, it's really hit or miss in my opinion. But I do think the 1-2 punch might be the pickup for the Estelle here. We're seeing the
Oh,
Rasmus and the Rune coming out again. So we're seeing like the
this is the
same
exact same
comp.
comp.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same comp. Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, so that's probably a Kilius goalie again, which makes sense. The 1-2 punch on the Rune is an option. You can also go orbs and play for that. There's an angle where your whole team takes orbs, depending on how you like draft your comp, and you just play for energy advantage. That's certainly a viable game plan, but I do think that it will probably be a lot of 1-2 punches, looking at the Vice and the Kazan, and Rasmus's style can go either way, but I think it's probably Rasmus 1-2 punch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the on Heavy Metal Gundam they also drafted the same pick, except for I think the Aimi is replaced with now. But yeah, I mean, both teams kind of like thinking that the core piece of their game plan isn't too broken, I believe, and that Vice is just always going to be looking threatening. And I actually don't know if this is going to be a goalie now from Tragic, or if this is going to be a midfield now from Josh now.
I guess that's a good question. It
No,
That's a good point. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we'll find out in like a split second here.
yeah,
It is the goalie now. You're totally correct. That's absolutely correct. But I'm not surprised. The only one taking orbs there, which is it makes sense. I'm not surprised. Which will lend some survivability to Zay Forever, the cardboard box character who folds like rice cakes. So not a bad a decision there for sure. And I don't think 1-2 punch is really the pick on now goalie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're also seeing a total of 0 wands here. Again, nature is healing, but we're still gonna see some damage, plenty of damage. I mean, Luke just pulled Zay Forever, and Zay Forever has like half health again. But that Vambrace value just coming out, and it's gonna be Heavy Metal Gundam that take both barriers on Gates of Obscura, and barriers are really, really important in Gates of Obscura. It feels like if you take the gates first, you kind of win the point.
Yeah, I mean, with both these goalies who are pretty high mobility, it's, perhaps less of a problem than, say, like an Atlas or a Dubu. And wow, what a strike from Luke. Just, getting the hook and then centering it right between Josh. It's hard to deal with that core speed. So really well done from Luke. Yeah, when you have these more mobile goalies, losing both barriers is never, it's always bad, but it's not as bad as, say, an Atlas or a Dubu. So, which are both pretty popular picks on this map. For goalies. So, it's not nearly as bad as those cases to lose both your barriers.
Yeah. I also just wanted to highlight Striker Kai, great Rose Warp, just making sure Stratic's core flip through the portal wasn't going to just take a barrier for free. And Kilius just double barriering Zay Forever. Not killed quite yet, but Striker Kai Rose Warp just threatening Zay Forever, making sure he has to use his energy to survive. But the Supernova from Josh buys a lot of space for Zay. And Kilius isn't able to follow up with those cooldowns, having to just kind of hold off Josh's onslaught. And now both barriers are down for Heavy Metal Gundam. They have to hold an open net, and Luke just trying to rotate up. The speed not quite there yet in a portal play, unfortunately, but almost leading to a barrier. But nice whiplash from Luke, threatening a goal onto Tragic, but he does clear. Josh uses the core flip to continue the pressure on, and then now Dorito unfortunately disappears right before the core gets there. Still, though, a portal-less side push from Heavy Metal Gundam is going to be threatening. But Kilius and Luke both walking up with a core flip, just passing it to Luke through the portal. But Tragic answering right back with a flip of their own. But Striker Kai almost has a flip now. And Josh Supernova, unfortunate reaction. And 2-0, looking to secure set 1.
Yeah. One thing I'm noticing is that Kilius, Striker Kai, and Luke are really playing the portals super well. Like I said, this is one of my favorite maps. It's all about the portals, and they're making these passing plays to each other. And I think that's a lot of the difference maker, where they're able to get barriers or just apply pressure by doing these quick rotations through the portal. Just like that. A great read from Striker Kai to flip right through the portal, seeing that Tragic was a little out of position.
Yeah, absolutely. Striker Kai brought down low, almost just a half stagger, and now has to deal with the Supernova with no energy. And Striker Kai trying to use piercing shot, trying to make some relevance happen, and Josh does opt for the core control over killing Striker Kai. And it is rewarded with the second barrier now, though, for Heavy Metal Gundam. And Zay Forever has a flip, and he's walking, trying to pass through Josh. Unfortunately, wasn't in sync quite there. The core's pass through portal. Kilius is right there, but held with the Thunderstruck from Josh. And now they're trying to wage offense on the portal side. And nice core flip from Zay means that Kilius needed to block there. And now coming back is the Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell. It did seem like if that pillar had formed in time, it might have been able to save it, but that's such a tricky angle. Really difficult to save when you're just a lone rune, not taking up that much space. So, really good shot from Zay.
Yeah, for sure. Great push from Heavy Metal Gundam. Make sure that they have to deal with Josh's Supernova, and now both barriers down on the side of Dragonslayers 2. Both barriers up for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, and Tragic and Josh both have core flip, and Kilius just has to deal with the net, and Josh just wants to walk up, even gets a power play as Heavy Metal Gundam. They're looking to come back, looking to go to a 0.5. Striker Kai does have core flip though, and he's just holding strike boring Zay, who just wants to force the issue into corner, but Josh has a core flip. He's coming out with a Thunderstruck. Kilius is aware of that and uses the pillar, and now Striker Kai is looking to pile on some offense, but even so, the core slips through, and Kilius just finding a lot of these center clears with the Supernova. Every time it comes up, Luke falling to half health, and Josh with the core flip still with the Thunderstruck just coming in, but still they hold Dragonslayers too. I mean, Tragic is going to wait and make sure that Josh can get into position, and they do get it around. And Luke now in a dangerous position. He has one evade though, does dodge the Thunderstruck, but Josh is going to shark around with the core flip in hand.
Yeah, I mean, this point might be... Yeah, there it goes. Really good shot from Tragic. I was going to say this point is probably over for Dragonslayers. Just because, I mean, the amount of flips that were coming up, the orb replicator difference might actually be making a huge difference here for Heavy Metal Gundam in these longer points where you do get to have more orbs. A really good banish from Kilius there, keeping pressure up. The unfortunate ultimate from Josh almost takes an own barrier, but it doesn't. Really good pillar from Kilius to keep that core up. And Tragic dribbling, Zay Forever still with that flip, choosing not to use it here. Oh, and just like that, taking the barrier as I speak too soon.
Yeah, I mean, Caster Curse is a real thing. You're cursing them in real time, Jet, but a great piercing shot from Striker Kai does take the second result in the second barrier being taken now, and Zay Forever dashing in with the crooked leverage. But that's an open net. Josh, great power core, saves the core, actually gets it to Tragic just in time. And Striker Kai uses his core flip, unfortunately wasn't able to link it to anything, and now has to kind of retreat back because Zay Forever is pounding on the damage. Is going to be able to get to the core though, and uses the piercing shot for defense as well. And Kilius finding a lot of value with these rune ultimates. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite there with the core speed. The Tragic does get the clear. Kilius just making sure that both that Heavy Metal Gundam can't get a point in for free. And now the offense is on the portal side, and Kilius tried to rotate it down to the portal less one, but Striker Kai just getting damage piled on time and time again, and even there the crooked leverage almost hitting him as well. It's looking to be a lot of damage on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, what felt like a really, dominant...
Oh, Zay!
I can't get any words out. Zay, stop.
Yeah,
the flip coming in, right? Like, a lot of points and a lot of barriers have been taken by these flips, and I think, the orb replicator is really working its magic, pulling the strings in the back. We have a lot of interesting picks here. Kazan, lots of things, Twin Drive, Size, Heavy Impact. We have, Glass Cannon, all of these characters, especially for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Really like a lot of these awakenings. So we'll see the Heavy Impact, one of Vice's best, picked away, but she does just get extra special and Rune doesn't. Though definitely not unhappy with Timeless Creator, Kilius will be able to really hold down these barriers a lot more with the 1-2 punch and the Timeless. So happy drafts, I think, for everybody. No one's too upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say, if Dragonslayers win this and they go on, they have to play three. That's three best of threes in one day, I believe. Wait, no, they don't. I'm lying. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna start play by playing. It's gonna be great. And Kilius, Striker Kai brought down low. Kilius does lose a barrier, but Striker Kai is there to help. And Tragic, unfortunately, has to deal with an open barrier on their side. And he is very mobile, like you said. This now is very mobile, so it's not as bad looking as the Atlas and the Dubu, and having to deal with it. And it even gets a kill onto Striker Kai. And Zay Forever using the flip is going to... Oh, but Kilius comes back in time to pillar off the second one, but Zay still wins the strike core. And now this is Josh with a flip. Unfortunately, uses it before Kilius strikes the core back. And Striker Kai's back though, so power play held, but at what cost, right? So Tragic just making sure, just mind gaming, making sure that they can get into an advantageous position before he decides where to clear the core too. Josh Supernova, perfect link to Zay, who finds that lower corner of the barrier.
Unfortunate pass by Luke there, right into the Supernova. You want that just like a few centimeters back, so that it can go straight to Striker Kai and not to the Supernova. But it's a game of inches, right?
Yeah,
and just like that, Josh has the Supernova back up again because of the extra special. A flip out from Tragic, trying to secure a barrier, not getting anywhere, and another kill from Tragic is now a kill character.
Yeah, that extra special value, just seeing time and time again, Striker Kai immediately taken off the field, Luke being brought down low. He's going to heal up though, so that's good. And the power play has been held with only one barrier. Kilius has to use the flip. Oh, Striker Kai barely saves the core just in time. Zay waiting for that orb in the top right corner, but the core was unable to find the way to him. The crooked leverage held by Luke as well, and there's a lot of pressure coming out. Kilius has to rotate back though to save the core. But Luke just finds the core and threads the needle. Almost time for a goal here for Dragonslayers 2, but Heavy Metal Gundam do hold, and Tragic is playing so far up. He's going to find his way back, though, and Josh is there. Luke read the hook, but the pendulum swing, that was a great point for Dragonslayers 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kilius is really doing everything to hold these barriers, and it feels like a lot of the pressure is on Heavy Metal Gundam defensively, which is interesting because they've won the set, and that was true last set as well. Like, it's all a lot of the time on the back foot of Heavy Metal Gundam, and they're just taking advantage of every opportunity really well. So I think if, this Rasmus Estelle combo can start securing barriers faster, it'll be a lot harder for them to lose the game and lose barriers.
Great waiting by Luke. Great waiting by Tragic. Does win the strike war against Luke after the core flip. And now the core goes through. I mean, Tragic touched that core right before it went into the portal with the secondary, ensuring that it came out on the right side of things. And Josh and Zay both have a core flip. Zay has to use it to alleviate this pressure, though. And now Josh is collapsing onto Kilius and Striker Kai, and Josh has a core flip, unfortunately misses, and the Dorito doesn't come out, doesn't kill Luke either. So Luke is alive, but barely breathing, as he has to tread in treacherous waters to touch the core or anything, honestly. But second barrier taken for Heavy Metal Gundam, and now Luke just being bullied around, making sure Zay forever secures the kill. Tries to hook the core back and mess up Kilius, but unfortunately the core was a little too fast because of overtime. Banish coming out from Kilius onto Zay, stopping the pressure, just buying some time for Luke to come back in 2 seconds, 1 second, then he's back. And Striker Kai and Kilius do hold successfully, and the hook comes in, but Striker Kai already on it, just making sure his brawler can get the core. A nice pendulum swing, unfortunately misses the core, and now Kilius has to leak it with Striker Kai, who has no energy, and Josh is going to come out with that supernova, just taking so much damage. Kilius aware, pillars it up, but Zay crooked leverage into the strike.
Yeah, Zay, I might be a little good on this character. I've known Zay to play this character a lot. I think a lot of people know him too. It's no surprise that he would just masterfully take that point with no issues.
Yeah, Striker Kai brought down low once again with Josh. Just so much damage coming out of the device. Great Rose Warp though, away from the crooked leverage, and he's going to live and take the orb. And now Dragonslayers 2 have both barriers down, and they're looking to tie up the set. Tragic is there though, doesn't get hit by the pendulum swing, so is able to save it, and the core just barely there. Zay, good crooked leverage trying to get around. Kilius is there though, and Josh has to use his core flip. But Striker Kai also there, using the portals to just abuse the rotations, and Tragic has to move around, can't get the orb, but Josh is going to get the orb now. So Kilius has the core flip soon. He's coming up. One energy, one pillar should do it, and let him get the secure. Oh, there's a pillar, there's a strike. He has a core flip, but that's an unfortunate spot, and the Thunderstruck. Great rotate and the whiplash, but oh, the clear to right back to Luke. Gonna answer.
That was so well held by Heavy Metal Gundam. It's sad to see them lose on this, but after such great strike layering and ability usage, but Kilius is walking so far up that once you can do that with a rune and you have abilities up, the game becomes a lot harder on Gates of Obscura because you can just place these portals in really bad spots.
Yeah, I mean, Dragonslayers 2, Heavy Metal Gundam has seen a lot of value on that early supernova, but they haven't been able to translate it into goals after the first two. But this might be it. This might be a barrier though, because Striker Kai looking really low, has to run away, dodges now Dorito though, and that's gonna be a game-defining moment potentially. But oh, Roseworth into the orb unfortunately dies, and now Tragic gets both barriers. Josh with the supernova, and the core goes so fast.
Yep, the 1-2 punch kind of coming online there for Josh. That's a hard situation to save. Like, not quite a checkmate, I don't think. If you VOD that, you might be able to find a way out, but that's not an easy situation. Looking at draft, we see 3 sparks, so Zay could pick one up here, but opts for the prime time, which I think is honestly one of Kazan's best, probably one of best awakenings, especially with the 1-2 punch. It can be so scary to deal with that character. That stacks on stacks on the Rasmus, if Luke can keep those up, that will be really interesting, and make it really hard for them to, if he can max out those stacks, then it'll just be like surviving and taking barriers as much as possible. So that's definitely going to be a game plan for Luke here.
Yeah, that looked really scary there for a second, but Luke does evade in time. Zay Forever really evading the close rune ultimate. That's really cool. And Luke, Striker Kai brought down low, even if Luke wasn't, and has to kind of survive in the Kazan's open form primary is gonna do it. And Achilles just trying to hold, puts the pillar down, unfortunately loses the crooked leverage though, and that's first barrier down on this power play. Still has 3 seconds to go, and the second barrier goes down, and still we have to wait for Striker Kai. He comes back, power play ends with 2 barriers down. And oh, Striker Kai though, making a difference. Yeah, great primary from the Estelle, making sure the barrier count is equalized here, and Zay Forever having to do a 3v1 in the middle here, so Achilles is going to get the clear.
Striker Kai walking back with the core, trying to wait out the Kazan abilities. Using the energy burst there, 2 energy bursts out from Heavy Metal Gundam, but no value whatsoever from them. A wasted supernova, doesn't really connect with anything. It's hard to keep up with all of what's happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Striker Kai just playing around the portal, just dodging everything, dodging the quick leverage, just going back into the portal, dodging this. Oh, the Thunderstruck with the core speed on Tragic!
The hot shot in overtime with Glass Cannon might make that core move a little fast. Yeah, it's not like it's a crazy now build, but situationally, it's really favoring Tragic and holding these barriers as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Striker Kai brought down low once again with no energy, but still making the strikes happen, dodging the power cord, getting 2 barriers. I mean, Dragonslayers too, showing a lot of life in these games, even if the set score is 0-2. And then we're seeing Striker Kai just Rose Warp in just boldly, even with all the health down, and Achilles just playing so far up, making sure that Striker Kai can find piercing shots like these. And great play, and 1-1.
Really good from Striker Kai. Just perfectly placed, and then the primary, strike primary, not the hardest thing to do, but it's having the awareness to know that that's a hard one for any of the characters to reach, just to place that strike there. Oh, really good hook. I thought that was for sure a barrier. Really good hook from Luch to save it.
Great patience. I think he was waiting for Achilles to potentially have a primary, but when he confirmed it wasn't happening, he did use his hook. But now on the back of that, Dragonslayers 2, they're in a great position to take this point. And oh yeah, it slips in!
An unfortunate supernova. I'm not sure if there was an issue with like strike not being up, or maybe it's a ping issue. It's really hard to say, but that's very unfortunate primary from Josh.
Yeah, Josh laughing it off. They're trying to get their mentals up, and yeah, because this is a match set for Heavy Metal Gundam, right? They can move on to the next stage if they do win this. And Zay Forever and Josh have full energy right now, and one of them might spend it for some pressure. Not needed, and Zay just bouncing it off. Oh, unfortunate bounce off the corners, and all that rotations that they did to get the pressure off of themselves it's back just like that. The now Dorito coming back and the supernova layered on is going to make sure that the barrier doesn't stay down, and Josh having to use his defensive flip there. Striker Kai, great piercing shot, doesn't find the tip of the barrier, and a great Thunderstruck from Josh, making sure Luke misses his strike twice. Zay Forever dashing in, crooked leverage, top spin coming out, ensuring that the core stays in. Tragic using the flip, rotating around, but Luke is there, Achilles is there. Dragonslayers 2 locked in on the top of their games, and they take the second barrier for on Heavy Metal Gundam. And now it's 2 barriers to none for Dragonslayers, and they really want to secure this set to to get some life into them. And Tragic, great hold with the secondary, and a great now Dorito, but Kilius once again holds. Josh is low, Striker Kai is low, and is secured by Tragic, and once again corner pressure coming out, but the pillar just stymies it, and Luke, great redirect. Tragic is there to the glass cannon bomb boost value coming out, and now power play has ended with only one barrier taken on DRG. And that core did not go into the portal, and Tragic making a lot of space for Josh to come back defensively. Great awareness of the Crystal Thorn. Striker Kai wasn't able to sneak that one in. They forever dashing in, crooked leveraging, but the core flip misses. Josh still has one more in his pocket though, and he's gonna use it, get around Tragic. And wow, they're coming back, Dragonslayers too.
Dragonslayers 100% have the power to reverse this. They're showing just exactly how well they can play these portals. I mean, if you pay attention to the goalies, which as a goalie player I always do, wow, Monumentalist now might be scary here. We'll see if the Estelle denies it, but you really want the rune ahead of the Now as the only character who can deny it. And it does fall. Unfortunate. And we have a lot of really good Vice Awakenings here. They're all kind of being picked up, but, you know, Stinger obviously not unhappy with that. The spec training Rasmus is going to be really interesting. The hooks are going to knock back so much further, especially with the 1-2 punch. So it'll be interesting to see how Luke, you know, takes advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at least it wasn't spec training extra special Vice, right? But
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a deny, but, you know, 2 quick barriers just like that off the Supernova, putting Dragonslayers in a bit of an unfortunate situation, but they're putting enough pressure to possibly get their own, and that's a second barrier fall for Heavy Metal Gundam.
oh, Kilius saves the crooked leverage redirect from Zay Forever, who that was a wonderful play from both sides, but the defense won out. Striker Kai with a great Rose Warp that's reacted to by Tragic, but he's on the back foot. He's running away from Zay Forever. Does get the orb in time. Oh, the power cord reacted, but unfortunately locked into place. Oh, Kilius saves even that with a great room pillar. Luke saving the core away from Josh's Supernova. And the pillar coming out. They just need to wait 4 seconds, but not in time. Zay Forever securing the goal for Heavy Metal Gundam on the power play.
Yeah, when you're in a corner like that, I mean, Kazan can just do so much with all of these abilities to just make your life miserable in the goal box. So it's not surprising that Zay Forever, pretty good Kazan player, was able to secure that. A good pendulum swing from Luke, and then a hook, and we see just that specialized training hook taking off so much damage from Tragic. Both barriers gone now. One flip, sorry, on the side of Josh. Might have to use it defensively here. And not even that. No flips traded. Luke saving his, Josh saving theirs. And Striker Kai gets that point.
Yeah, I mean, huge plays from Striker Kai just coming in from the back lines. After being staggered, battered, and bruised, he still showed how relevant he was, and that piercing shot's going to rotate it through. Luke pulling Tragic with that extra special powered hook, or not the extra spec training powered hook, and that Supernova from Josh, very threatening, but all members of DRG2 are able to get out in time, and now it's barrier down for Heavy Metal Gundam. Unfortunate sink on the Thunderstruck as well, but flips on 2 4s, and Kilius, 2 4s and a goalie, and Josh reacts to it just in time, getting the core out of there. Zay also has a flip to follow through, has to burn it on that rune ultimate though. And now energy advantage on the side of Dragonslayers 2, who have Kilius, who have shown that he just walks up and takes those, and Luke just retreating just in time for Kilius to swap places with him offensively. Josh, great control using that Supernova, and Luke unfortunately wasn't able to stop that offense with his hook, but still 1 barrier up for Dragonslayers 2, meaning that they have a heavy advantage so far, and Zay does take that advantage away from them because I caster cursed them. But Luke, great pendulum swing gets yeah, it is, it really is, I shouldn't say anything. But Kilius getting it through to Luke, and Zay Forever gets it through, but Kilius, unfortunately, the pillar slightly too forward.
Kilius might be the greatest forward on Heavy Metal Gundam. That's an unfortunate pillar. You know, it's tricky. You know, placing those pillars can be really difficult to get them right, and we see it not working out in Kilius' favor there. Kilius does have the flip, though, and actually both goalies do. Josh now has a flip as well off the Orb Replicator, I believe. Good primary from now to secure 1 barrier, but they really need this second one to seal out the game. But with your forward gone, might be a little difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, core flip from Josh continuing to offense, buying time for Zay Forever to come back, and even especially with that power chord, Chain Lightning too, just slowing down the core tremendously. And now Tragic and Zay Forever just working. Oh, Zay slips into the portal, unfortunately, and that leaves the lower side wide open for Luke and Striker Kai. Does get it out somehow, though, those Heavy Metal Gundam, and now Luke and Striker Kai looking really low, and there's only one orb in the backline that's going to be a Cells. Zay coming in with the crooked leverage, but Luke does use his one evade to dodge it. And core flip into piercing shot was blocked by Tragic and Josh, but Striker Kai still putting a lot of pressure on, even though he's looking really low. So Kilius is taking the place, but Kilius immediately goes out by the Supernova double KO, and Zay Forever gets the double KO, and we're looking like a Heavy Metal Gundam victory potentially because they're bouncing between, and Luke can't hold them all.
Almost gets the hook. I mean, last game I had said I wonder if Luke plays the Rasmus goalie, and we had the opportunity to see it there. But with no teammates, it's a little hard. Not exactly your usual gameplay. So Heavy Metal Gundam taking it in just a series of crazy games. I don't know how either of these teams are going to stay awake after that. Like, that just has to knock you out to play in hot shot 1-2 punch games, just back to back. So really well played by both teams. I really thought Dragonslayers had the chance to come back, and just that kill on Kilius, followed by the kill on Striker Kai, just sealed the deal. And it's really unfortunate to lose that way.
Yeah, it all ended so quickly. It really looked like that Dragonslayers 2 had a strong offense going on, and that's what Kilius probably thought too, right before they got taken off the field. And that's all Heavy Metal Gundam needed. And wow, like these have been some series of upsets because Dragonslayers 2 have looked nigh unstoppable in the regular season, but anything can happen in playoffs. And hey, we were here to see it. We were here to see Heavy Metal Gundam take down Dragonslayers 2 2-1 and move on.
Yeah, I mean, seed 1 falling like that in 2 games is always a little bit of an upset. One of the I think, maybe the best record. I think there were 2 7-1s, right? So it's really unfortunate to see them fall like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, props to both teams. Like this has been a lot of 2-1s, but I mean, Heavy Metal Gundam just comes out slightly ahead of Dragonslayers 2. And yeah, what a play, what a masterclass by Zay Forever, Josh, and Tragic, just making sure their offense stayed. And even when their defense is falling, they make sure that they can secure those KOs and get the power play back and stay in the game.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't say this a lot. I think it's considered one of the worst awakenings in the game right now because there's so much good stuff. But Orb Replicator, I think, had this impact of, getting all of these flips on Josh and Zay, which, a flip is great on its own, right? Like, you get to have control of the core speed, and, take barriers and score goals really easily. But the other fact about, core flips is that the goalie has to kind of play, and the midfielder have to kind of play around it. Even the forward, right? You see on kill maps where Juliet has core flip, and you just can't play remotely close to the edge at all. So having all of those extra core flips up from Tragic, which Dragonslayers didn't have to contest that, definitely made things very, very difficult for a myriad of reasons. And that small difference might have been, the deciding factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have seen some crazy games today. All of them have been 2-1s, and we have 2 more series, guys. We have 2 more series, and they're going to be coming after a break, though, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll be
I was
right
hoping
back.
to go to bed at some point.
Yeah.
But I think